Welcome to another episode of the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name is Nick. Welcome to this week's episode.
Just the one welcome this
Yes.
week. Cool. How are you, Nick?
Fine.
We didn't do a wave this week.
No, because someone is going on their holidays.
Yeah, I'm going away for a few days, and I don't have time to edit 2 episodes this week, unfortunately.
We'll make up to you next week.
Yeah,
We'll do
a new belong wave.
something.
But then even next week's going to be tough.
Oh, yeah.
Because I only get
you'll
back
be
till Thursday.
Just back from holiday.
So
We'll work it out.
I'll have to
don't
get back, watch the film, and then we'll record that day.
This feels like an off-podcast
It
conversation.
does, yeah, sorry.
That's
How are you,
fine.
Nick?
I'm good. I've seen some wildlife on my way over here.
Oh, what did you see?
So just at the top of my road, crossing the road.
Near the chip shop?
A bit further down. So near just where it crosses onto the green where the old folks' home used to be.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Was
Yeah.
a little hedgehog.
Oh,
So
That's nice.
I was glad I spotted it, and he trotted off looking for worms.
what did they eat? Worms?
I think so.
Not milk. They're not allowed
Slugs.
milk.
Lots of slugs.
Have you walked around then?
No,
Oh,
I drove.
but you drove and spotted a hedgehog in a park?
No, it was crossing the road.
Oh,
Did
I
you not
see.
listen
I
to
was
me?
like, no, I don't, sorry. I thought you said you'd seen it on the green. I was like, that's
It
good.
was heading to the green
dark.
on the other side of the road. Why did the hedgehog cross the road?
So it didn't get run over by your car.
Get to the
The
green.
other side.
Yeah.
Cool, that's good. I saw a dead squirrel in the road tonight.
Oh,
That's not
lovely.
as fun a story. I love squirrels.
Was he dead before you?
He was, yeah. I didn't murder him.
That's sad times.
How have you been? Have you had a good week?
Yes, I have.
I feel like we need to do a bit of a catch up on this because we've not done a wave.
I've had quite a good week.
Yeah? What have you been up to?
I saw you on Friday night.
You did? That was a good night.
Played some games.
Late one?
Had some food.
Yeah? Too many pizzas.
Yes.
6 pieces between 7 people, you'd think it'd be enough.
Was there only 7? Oh, you're right. I was thinking there was 8 of us.
No, there was only 7.
Yeah, you're right.
But 6 pizzas
I can't
lasted.
Eat, I can't eat as much as I used to.
No, I'm the same.
Nowhere near.
But did we have 2 full ones left?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow. Just wasting money.
They didn't all get eaten. Maybe another one got eaten. But anyway.
At least they didn't go to waste. All of it didn't anyway. Yeah, it was a good night. I enjoyed that night. It was fun.
Yeah. What else have I done? Not too much, I don't think.
No?
That springs to mind. Got the slip and slide out this afternoon.
Nice. Kids
in the
away, are
garden.
they?
Yeah. Throwing ourselves down that.
That's cool. I'd like to have a go on that now. It's a bit warm in here.
Yeah.
My back feels like a slip and slide.
I could
Painting the picture for the listeners.
I could straddle you and you could slide down it, tummy first.
Yeah.
And I could sort of twirl my cowboy hat above my head.
It sounds fun. I'm enjoying this image in my head right now.
And I would yahoo all the way to the end.
Yahoo!
Exactly.
It sounds like the bottom of the stream disc golf game is going to happen.
Oh, yes.
The organisation is going on in the Discord
From
right
a
now.
vague mention last week.
Yeah.
We've got loads of people,
loads of
who
people
want
wanting
to
to
jump
play.
on board.
So we just need to find a course now.
I mean, I found a couple. I don't know. Probably need to look a bit further afield because they're a bit local to us. So we want to find somewhere that's like a bit closer to
Yeah.
everyone.
That's all right.
Some far-flung competitors.
Yeah, there's going to be people from other podcasts, Patreons. There's going to be loads.
After live stream.
Harrison and the other one from Griff Burrito.
Oh,
they're both
the
interested.
other ones come in.
The other ones come in.
Ah,
Even the Shout Select boys are saying they're coming.
excellent.
It's going to be fun. We'll have to get some organisation. If you do want to come to our disc golf match, get in the Discord. The Discord link will be at the bottom of the show notes.
That's some organising to do. When you're back from your holiday, got to sort out disc golf. Got to sort out our watch along.
Yeah, we need to sort out the Left Behind watch along.
So, yeah, bear with us, and when Ad's back, when we're fully staffed again,
Yeah.
we'll sort it out.
We'll be back on. We're nearly at the end of the season as well, which is always more admin to do at the end of the season.
Oh, that's true. That might be a good point to do a couple of these things.
Yeah, agreed. Maybe we could have a week off between seasons and do the watch along that week.
Oh, okay, that could
Save
work.
us using 3 nights a week to podcast. Because I'm sure your missus gets annoyed about it sometimes. Planage. I did an escape room on Sunday.
Oh, brilliant!
It was great.
Did you win?
Yes.
Oh, well done.
Got out with 5 minutes and 18 seconds
Oh,
left to
that's
go.
loads of time.
I know, it was great. That was the first one I'd ever done, and I really
Was it?
enjoyed it. Yeah,
I've done a couple.
I really enjoyed it. It was really good
What
fun.
was the theme?
It was stop asteroid hitting the Earth.
Oh, okay.
So we had to fix 10 bits of computing equipment to light up these LEDs and then hit a launch button at the end.
Was there any that you really got annoyed, stuck with for ages?
Yes. There was one that wasn't our fault as well, because we found a boroscope at one point,
Yeah.
like a camera with a screen on the end, and it wouldn't turn on.
Okay.
And we were like, we can't get it to turn on. And the bloke kept putting clues up on the screen on how to turn it on. And then he just came in the end and it didn't work. And they'd forgotten to charge it up.
Oh, no.
So he just had to give us the clue that we would have found with the boroscope.
Like,
But other than that, it was good fun.
Punctures the dream.
He added some time on for us because obviously we'd wasted time trying to get it turned on. But right at the end, we'd lit up these lights, and to end the game, you have to hit the launch button for this asteroid.
Sure.
I've never moved so quick as to whack this launch button because I thought we were a lot closer to the end than we were.
You wanted the glory.
We could have sat and had a chat for 5 minutes,
yeah, exactly.
but I dived across the room like a fucking long jumper. But no, it was definitely good. It was Escape Live in Coventry. I'll give them a shout out. It was a lot of fun. They've got 2 more rooms there as well, so we should go and do one.
Excellent. Yeah. I've done a couple with the sort of work, and they've been good. Neither time did we escape.
Oh, really?
So
wow, we might have found something I'm better than you at.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Maybe. That was good. The theming was really good. It was like an old 30-year-old bunker that had been abandoned. And
do you know what the most difficult thing I found in the 2 that I did?
Yeah.
The first thing.
Yeah, we couldn't get. It took us ages to get started. It took us absolutely ages to get started.
Presented with a load of stuff.
You're just left in a room.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
What's first?
And then you find something and you're like, well, I found something, but I still don't know what to do.
Yeah,
and eventually it all kicks in, isn't it? And it's quite clever how it's all planned to be like doable, but also quite difficult at the same time.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I found a lost one in Canada. So I'd like to go to Canada as well, because a lost escape room would be brilliant.
Would it be a disappointing ending?
Yeah, you just don't get out at the end. Shut up. Anyway, we should probably get on with talking about this film because
I just quickly want to mention one thing I've watched this week.
Okay.
I know we'll do a mega wave
next week,
but
a tidal wave.
I watched the first 2 episodes on Disney Plus of Only Murders in the Building.
I've heard of this. Is it good?
With Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Oh right.
And
what's the premise?
So they all live in the same apartment building.
Yeah.
And a murder happens.
Okay.
And then I don't want to give any more away because everyone might not be as they seem.
Oh, okay. So it's like a murder mystery in an apartment. Is it a comedy? I imagine
comedy
with that
drama.
cast it is.
I mean, Steve Martin plays a used to be famous actor.
I thought Steve Martin was dead. I'm not going to lie.
Martin Short plays a used to be famous director, and they start a podcast.
Oh right. Okay.
To deal with this murder that they found in.
So it's a podcasting show.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll get some tips. Check it out. I'll check that out. What's it on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
I'll check that out. I might even watch that when you've gone tonight.
Okay. Great.
There's I've heard good things about Kevin Can Fuck Himself as well. People keep talking about that in the Discord, so we're going to check that out. That's on Amazon Prime, I believe.
So, yeah.
Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek's new show. So I'll check that out this week as well, and we'll discuss on the tidal wave or tsunami. What are we calling it next week? Uber wave. Again, I'm not going to have much time to edit it though.
Quite like Uber wave.
Uber wave. We'll do an Uber wave next week. Sounds good. Right, shall we start talking about this film?
Let's do it.
We need to get out of here pretty early tonight. What did we watch this week?
This week, we watched a Spanish movie called The Invisible Guest.
We did indeed. Good name.
I mean, it really confused me earlier because I was pretty sure I was supposed to be watching a film called The Uninvited Guest, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, you won't find that. It doesn't exist. We had a bit of a timing issue as well, didn't we?
Did we?
Didn't you find something wrong with the length of the movie?
Oh, only on Google, and the internet's just wrong. So, you know, if you just put the name of the movie into Google, and it comes back, what would you like to do? Overview, cast.
Yeah. And
it says it's 3 hours, 24 minutes long.
Wow. That couldn't be more wrong.
It's like double how long it actually is.
Over double. No, luckily, it isn't that long.
Don't trust the internet, people.
Because I'll get into it. Let's go through the cast and crew, and then I'll go into the issue I had with this movie to start with. So like Nick said, we watched The Invisible Guest this week. The Invisible Guest is from 2016. It is a 12. It runs for 1 hour and 46 minutes and is currently rated 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb. We were right up at the top half of the stream.
Yeah, that's very high.
Yeah, it is. Very high. I think it's the second highest rated film we've done.
Okay.
I think The Dawn Wall's at 8.2.
That's okay.
But that's also recently left Netflix.
It came back.
Oh, did it?
It went and came back.
It went and came back?
In days,
okay.
I'm sure it did.
Fair enough.
Anyway, that's by the by.
So this film stars a guy called Mario Casas. He plays Adrian Doria. I couldn't find out much about him because he's Spanish, and obviously we've not seen many Spanish films. However, I did also notice that this film stars Anna Wagner.
Okay.
Maybe Wagner? No. Spanish don't do that, do they?
No.
Anna Wagner. She plays Virginia Goodman. She was in Mirage.
Oh, was she?
Which is the only other Spanish film we've done. So both Spanish films we've done both starred this same girl. She didn't play a big part in Mirage. But
no.
She was one of the policemen, I think.
Okay.
She was in it. Also stars Jose Coronda. He plays Thomas. And Barbara Lenny plays Laura. Laura's not in it a lot. Laura gets killed in the first scene.
She's
But she's in
quite
it a bit
Flashbacks,
afterwards. Yeah, flashbacks and
etc.
stuff. Written and directed by a guy called Oriol Paulos.
Okay.
Ever heard of him before?
Don't think so.
You have.
Have I?
He wrote and directed Mirage.
Did he?
He did. So we've done 2 Spanish films in this show's history, and he's written and directed both of them.
There you go.
What are the chances?
Well,
How many Spanish writer-directors are there?
well, there's lots, but I mean, it's not that much of a coincidence because Netflix tend to like batch buy, don't they?
Yeah, I think
So
that's
if it's from
possibly
this,
what happened.
so if they'll have a deal with the production company,
yeah.
if not with
But
the
they've both happened to get to the bottom of the stream and both managed to find it onto
Well,
our long list and have
yeah.
both come out.
well, they've both come out as their coincidence.
Right, I guess so, yeah. That's really all I found. I didn't really know a lot else about him, but I am going to check out some of his other work because he's now done 2 quite good films on this show. Mirage, I stand by the fact that Mirage is still the best film we've ever seen.
I think pound for pound, it's right up there. It's definitely the most sort of, oh shit, I was not expecting that, and that was actually an amazing movie.
It's the most I would have sat and watched that in a cinema and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Rather than, because a lot of these you wouldn't.
Cool.
Even the top ones, you wouldn't necessarily enjoy them in the cinema.
Yeah, because it's a hidden gem. It's not necessarily
It's not necessarily an epic
You're gonna-
blockbuster. But Mirage, I think, would have got there. I find it weird that it didn't finish top of season 2. I think it came second.
Yeah.
But behind Hush, which is another amazing film.
Yeah, yeah.
Season 2 was our strongest top
It
of the
would have
stream.
been nice to have one of them this season.
It would, wouldn't it? I think season 2 is our strongest top end of the stream.
Yeah.
Hush and Mirage.
Was that What Keeps You Alive as well?
Yeah, I think
That
it
was great.
Yeah, season 2 was good. We've gone downhill since then.
The quality of these movies. Well, let's
see
we're
where
nearly
we get
through
to.
this one, so
We are. Yes, we are. We've got 3 episodes left now.
yeah.
Still one wild card left to play.
I've heard rumours.
Have you?
I was going to say it's not far away. There's only 3 episodes.
It's
after
not
this,
far
so-
away, and it's not happening today because I've not sent him the long list yet. So yeah, the other one from Grief Burrito's got his wild card to play. Do you have a 1-word review of The Invisible Guest? I forgot what it was called then. The Invisible Guest.
Do a Columbo.
Columbo. Nice. Columbo would have just been good enough. That's
Okay.
1 word then.
Yeah, but that's not a Peep Show reference.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Where does this film start, Nick?
In a city.
12 minutes in and we're only just starting.
It's
It does start in a city, that is true.
sorry. I'll go on less tangents.
No, I enjoy your tangent.
I believe
There's going to be a lot of tangents in this.
we are in Barcelona.
I think we are, yes, or somewhere on the outskirts, if not the inskirts.
I spotted a few famous landmarks, I believe,
Okay.
in these drone shots.
Yeah, it starts with drone shots over a city, doesn't it? With
And
credits rolling.
there's a woman
Yes.
who gets out of a car
Yep.
and goes into a posh building.
Yes.
Possibly a hotel, or apartment block.
I think it's an apartment block.
Yeah.
But yeah. And she goes up in the lift.
Yeah, we're off to the races. Got to work out what the hell's going on straight away.
Straight off. She rings the doorbell.
She's
and
like power suited, isn't she?
Proper power suited, like coiffed hair. Is it
Yeah.
coiffed?
Good. That'll do
Coiffed
for
hair.
me.
She's an older lady, I would say. 50s? No, maybe even older because she was retiring, wasn't she?
Yes, but quite an air of authority.
Definitely wouldn't mess with her.
No way.
No way. She rings the doorbell, a man answers, and she says, "Hi, I've been sent here by your lawyer." And then there's a news report on in the background. We hit an early news report again. We love news reports
It's
on this
very
show.
specific, this one.
Yeah.
It is so specific, it absolutely catches us up on why this man is here in this apartment.
It really does. And it's almost like absolutely exposition. It's
Yeah.
giving you the news story just gives you the background of what's going
It's
on.
not like a real news story would be.
No, it's not. It's basically just this is the news story that we need for this film.
Yeah.
And basically, it's about a lady that's been found dead in a hotel room or an apartment.
Yes.
The man that was sharing the room with her has been arrested. The trial is upcoming.
And
I
he's
think
like
that's the news report.
Reigning businessman of the year.
Yeah,
he's a
top,
famous
top businessman.
young businessman.
He was the only man in the room. He was in the room when the police found the body, and he was locked in the room.
Yeah.
So it's not looking good for this businessman, who we then find out is this man who we've just met in this apartment building.
We do, and then we find out the woman who has arrived is a top defence attorney.
Yes. No, she's sent by the defence attorney, isn't she? A witness preparation expert.
Yeah, but they're in it together.
Yeah, she works for the
She's
defence attorney.
helping defend him.
She's a witness preparation expert, I think she describes herself as. So she's there to coach the witness,
Yeah.
basically. Coach the defendant. So she says, sit down. I want your full story in your words. We've got 180 minutes.
Yes, because a new witness has been found
Yep.
for the case, and the witness is winging his way to the judge.
Yes.
And basically, the rumour is that this witness has got enough evidence to send our star,
Yep.
who is
Adrian Doria.
Adrian Doria, down.
Yeah. So they've got 180 minutes because he is going to be arrested after 180 minutes. They've got 3 hours. And then we get a flashback. There's many flashbacks and theoretical flashbacks, I guess I'm going to call them. There's a lot of this film that isn't real.
Unreliable narrator.
Or unreliable narrative. That's true. That's a good way to describe it. So, because it's all like, you don't know who to believe and when to believe them.
Exactly. You get slightly different versions of the type of events of the same event, don't you?
Yeah, from different people's
So
perspectives.
you can already see that, this is going to be twisty-turny.
Yeah, and it is. It's twists and turns a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We flash back on the outside of this hotel in the snowy mountains.
The overlook.
The
Spanish
100%.
overlook.
It couldn't be more it was obviously intentional. There's quite a few shining references in this.
And there was even like the suspenseful
music,
bass sounds every time you saw an exterior shot of.
As soon as I saw it pop on the screen, I was like,
overlook.
I'm in on this film now. This is imitating Stephen King. I'm fine. Then we go into the room, and it's like a room in the overlook as well. It's like green walls and 70s decor. It's cool.
Like posh, so it's not like crumbling at the edges.
No,
but it's kept that.
It's kept period.
Yeah,
so it's not set in the 70s. We're very much set in the modern day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But this hotel is caught in a time trap. We didn't even mean that. So we find out that the Adrian Doria's in this room with a lady. They're being blackmailed, basically.
Yeah, they've been told to go there.
They've been told to go there and bring
100,000 euros.
Euros. And then they realise that it's a trap at this point. And just as they realise that, she goes to grab her bags. And he gets his head knocked into a mirror and knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
When he wakes up, the police are banging on the door and Laura is dead on the bathroom floor.
I mean, immediately I'm like, you're an idiot, mate. Because he picks up the murder weapon.
Yep, straight away.
He then picks up dead Laura.
Yeah.
Contaminates absolutely everything.
Yeah. There's money all over. The money's still there, but it's been chucked all over her as well.
Yeah. And there's no one else in the room.
Nope. And the police can't get in. The room is locked from the inside.
We've got a classic, I want to say Sherlock Holmes, but immediately I'm thinking this could have been the start of an episode of Lupin. Yeah,
it really could.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that, isn't it? It's like it's a murder mystery. It's a proper murder mystery. Yeah. How's this woman been killed? The police do eventually break the door down. They arrest him. Witnesses say that they saw no one leave and that the door was locked from the inside, so there was no way anybody could have left.
And Adrian is already saying, "I was framed. There was someone else here.
Yeah,
I was knocked out,
been set up."
Yeah.
He was told that nobody had a motive to set him up. There's nobody out there that wants to set him up.
Well, he says that as well.
Yeah, he says that to
Goodman.
Virginia.
Virginia Goodman's not a very Spanish name, is it?
It's not, no. No, well, now you think about it, it's really not. Virginia Goodman. She says to him, if you promise me that you will never lie to me, I can get you off with this.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not one of the cops.
Yeah.
She's like, I have never lost a case.
Yeah.
And I'm about to retire.
This is my last case.
Well,
she actually has retired and she's come out of retirement to take on this case.
And she says, I can help you. The line she uses is, there's no salvation without suffering.
Yes.
So you have got to be honest with me.
Yeah. Because
she doesn't believe
his story.
It's not that she doesn't believe his story, but at this point she says, I don't believe that there's no one out there who's got a motive.
Yes.
There's got to be something or someone that wants to take you down.
Yeah. And she's quite aggressive about it.
Yeah.
And she's like, you need to stop lying to me because I know you're lying to me. And you need to tell me the truth. And if you do, you will not see any prison time.
She then puts a sort of yellowing old newspaper in front of him.
Yeah.
With a headline that's got words to the effect of young man disappears.
Yes.
And tells Adrian not to lie again.
Yeah. Tell me about Daniel Garrido.
Yeah.
That's what she says. So his face sort of crumbles at that point because he knows now that his game's up, I suppose. But at this point, anyway, that's what we're thinking. And he starts the next sentence with, it all started 3 months ago.
Indeed.
And then we flash back again. So this whole film is basically him telling her a story and us seeing that at the same time. Us seeing that at the same time.
Yes.
But what he's telling her may not be true, but we're still seeing that.
Correct.
That's pretty much what this whole film is, isn't it?
We're seeing his version of events.
Yes. Even though he may be lying or may be telling the truth, we don't know at this point. the flashback starts and we're in a room with Adrian and Laura, but he's on the phone to his wife because he is married and Laura is his illegitimate lover.
Yes.
They decide they need to leave, so they drive together to wherever they were heading.
And they have a conversation in the car.
Yeah.
And she sort of says, well, do you want to leave your wife? And he says no. And he says to her, do you want to leave your husband? And she says no.
No, she's quite happy with this setup.
But she's like, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Whereas he's got like
guilt.
Cheater's guilt.
Yeah. He says he wants to end it, basically. And she's like, well, there's no point. We've done it now. We've already done the bad deed. We're both enjoying ourselves and neither of us want to leave our partners. Let's just carry on. Then all of a sudden, a deer jumps out in front of them.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Did it actually?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Did you not see the deer?
No, I just saw the smash.
It was quite difficult, this film, wasn't it? Because what I wanted to mention at the start is that there's no fucking dub. Which has been a problem before, but I can't remember what the last film was that didn't have one. But there wasn't a lot of dialogue in it. Whereas this is all dialogue. And it is so difficult making notes on a film.
Rapid fire.
You can't take your eyes off the screen. And also, you're trying to write. My notes are virtually ineligible.
I mean, I would always try and do the subtitles anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I would in ordinary circumstances.
Yeah, I know. But it's difficult when you're making notes.
It is, very.
I did have to stop this a lot.
A lot.
And I wouldn't do that in a normal movie.
Maybe that's why 3 hours and 24 is on the runtime on Google, because it's about right. I watched the end 4 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just to try and get my head around what was going on. Yeah, it's dubbed into... It's obviously originally in Spanish. It's dubbed into German, French, Italian and Brazilian, but not English. It doesn't make any sense. So you maybe looked away while you were writing and missed the deer. But this deer jumped out in front of them, which forced them into the wrong lane, which made another car spin out. And the other car crashed. They managed to kind of regain control.
Yeah.
And just basically pull over. They were a bit shook up, but they weren't injured.
Correct.
However, the same cannot be said for the guy who was driving the other car.
No, there's a young man.
Yes.
And he seems to be quite dead.
He seems to be very dead.
There's a lot of blood.
He's full on dead.
Oozing out.
Yeah. So, obviously they panic because they've just been involved in a crash that's killed somebody. They're not necessarily at fault, but who's going to believe that?
Sure.
And
it's more the fact of they're not necessarily, it sounds bad, they're not necessarily worried that they've killed a guy.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, it's a freak accident.
Yeah.
They're worried that all their lives will unravel.
Because
of their affairs, their families are at risk.
Get out now.
Yeah.
That's definitely what Laura's worried about.
Yeah.
Adrian was all ready to call the police. He was on his phone to call the police. Laura stopped him calling the police. And that's the decision that started this whole spiral of what this film becomes.
Sure.
She says if we call the police... Well, she basically says the guy's not wearing a seatbelt and he was texting. I can see his phone. He was texting.
Yeah.
If you call the police now, this is all over. Our lives are over. So don't call the police is basically what she's saying. So they think, well, we'll just drive off. We'll leave this guy here. But the car won't start.
No.
They've somehow stalled the engine or broke the car somehow. I suppose it's panicked when it jerked to a stop like that.
Sure. It's locked down, hasn't it?
And another car's coming.
Yeah, they can hear. So they're on like a windy hillside.
Yeah.
And they can see below them a car is coming
up the road.
Which I thought was quite tense, this bit.
It was very tense. So Laura very quickly comes up with a plan to pretend that they've hit each other. Yeah. So she pretends to be the driver of the other car and that they're standing on the side of the road exchanging details. Yeah. So this other car should, in theory, just drive straight off. She takes charge completely. Adrian's panicking, he's sweating, he's panicking. But there's also a lot of blood dripping out of the other car, this Daniel's car. But it works. We think it works. The man drives away. Eventually, he's convinced that...
He hangs around for a bit longer
than you would expect.
But again, it's to ratchet up the tension, isn't it? And make this passerby a bit of an ambiguous character. So, did he choose not to see something? Or did he genuinely... Was he fooled by their... ruse?
And it's not the last time we meet him, as a spoiler.
But it was a nice foundation to lay, I guess. The fact that we didn't, as the audience, we didn't know whether this guy had noticed.
Yeah, at this point,
going on,
it was just a tense moment. Yeah. Of God, did he see that or not?
Because he's then a wild card for the rest of the movie, basically.
Yeah,
isn't he?
Comes back a few times. Laura says, "Look, we need to get rid of the body and the car because somebody's seen us now." So they both dump the body into the boot of his own car.
Correct.
And Daniel drives it away.
Well, she says, tell you what, I'll stay here and call a tow truck.
Yeah.
You can get rid of this car and the body.
Yeah. So they do. He drives off in one car. She sits and waits for him. So we follow, to start with, we follow Daniel But then we see the same perspective a bit later on from Laura's perspective, don't we? Virginia says, I don't know if this was a translation issue, but Virginia says to him, "What did you do with the car?" And he says, "I buried it."
Yeah.
Which he didn't. He pushed it into a swamp. But
buried it in a lake.
You can't bury a car.
What else are you doing? Putting it in a
You're
lake?
not burying it. Burying it's underground, not underwater. You don't bury something in water.
You don't drown a car.
No, you don't bury it in water
Sink the
either.
car?
Sink the car. I sunk it is what he should have said. It just made me laugh. I just had this, because we didn't know at that point what he'd done. I just had this image of him just digging this massive hole and driving a car into it. Like,
would it take
what's that Stephen King film with John Cusack? Dolan's Cadillac.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he tells Virginia he got rid of the car.
Sorry, my own note just made me laugh, sorry.
Why? What did you put?
Adrian takes the kid's car and regrets his life choices because he's quite sad while he's driving.
He's very sad whilst he's driving.
Wondering, how has my life got to this
Life
point?
is not good for him at the minute. Eventually, he pulls over near this like swampy lake and he pushes it in, and then he just stands and watches it sink.
But a deer sees him.
A deer does see him. It's just, again, another tense moment because you're hearing.
And I thought it was quite good
Yeah.
because it laid a solid foundation and we didn't know if the deer really saw him,
Yeah.
or if he chose not to notice.
Yeah.
And that deer became a wild card for later.
It did again. There's lots of foreshadowing going on, but basically we hear a crack in the forest, and we're like, "Oh, somebody seen him?" And then it turns out to be a deer.
I wonder if it think it was the same one.
Could have been. Could have been. Who knows?
That they nearly hit earlier. It's really got it in for him. Like in is it Jaws 4 when they're like, it's the same shark. It's come back.
Yeah.
It's following me.
I think it is. After that, they meet up and Laura picks him up in the car and they drive off together.
And now she's really out of sorts.
Yeah.
Because she's been really calm to this point.
Yeah, but she's really like not calm now.
Yeah.
So at this point, we see the exact same situation, but from Laura's perspective.
Wait, the car's fixed. What could have gone wrong?
Exactly. So we go back to when Daniel left. With Laura's in the car waiting for a tow truck to turn up, but it's going to be ages.
Yeah.
And then a man shows up.
Yes.
Another man in a car. And luckily enough, he's a mechanic.
I had a couple of real big issues in this film, and there's two huge coincidences that happen in this movie that really help drive the plot forward.
Yeah.
And this is the first one. Because this guy that stops halfway up this hillside in the middle of nowhere is not only a mechanic.
No.
Is a BMW engineer.
Yeah.
Who helped design this type of car.
Yeah. Which was unnecessary. It's an unnecessary detail.
Unnecessary, wasn't it?
An unnecessary detail we didn't need.
Because it made me go, that's a bit
Even if he'd have just gone, I'm a mechanic, I'm like, oh, that's a coincidence. But I'll let it off.
Because if you change it to, I'm a mechanic, I tell you what, I can have a look at it. I can't give you any promises.
Yeah.
But I've seen something similar before. But what we get here is effectively, I helped design these cars.
I've got all the software. I've got everything I need.
Come back to my house, half an hour.
Yeah, it was unfortunate and it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Because he could have just been it did a little bit. He could have just been a happy mechanic who happened to be able to fix the car. Yeah. He didn't need to go into that much detail.
Weird,
it was weird. I'm glad you spotted that. It was weird. So she basically says, oh, it's all right, I'll wait for the tow truck. He convinces her to come back to his house.
Yeah, so you can have dinner. My wife's there.
My wife's there. We'll sort you out. We'll get you going. It won't take long. Yeah. It'll be you'll be on the road quicker than the tow truck would turn up.
Sure.
So he tows her back to his house. We meet Laura's husband for the first and only time, I think, at this point.
Oh, we see him a bit later on.
Do we? Okay.
But yeah.
He calls her
Bruno.
And just checks she's okay, basically.
Yeah.
And I've written it. He seems nice. Yeah, lovely guy.
He's like a banker, isn't he?
Yeah,
That's important.
She said she'd missed her flight or something and he wanted to come and pick her up. And he just was nice. He was looking out for her. We then get back to the guy's house. The guy's called Tom or Thomas. And his wife's like...
They've got a nice house.
They've got a lovely house in the forest.
He's a well-paid mechanical engineer.
Retired mechanic, yeah. And his wife she says, come inside, I'll make you some coffee. You can wait while Thomas tinkers around with your engine.
Not a euphemism.
Thomas looks suspicious.
A couple of times. So he kind of gives her a sideways glance while she's on the phone to Bruno.
Yeah.
And then...
Because Bruno uses her name, but she's given a fake name.
Yeah.
I don't know if he twigged that.
I'm not sure.
It was the first thing that spotted.
It's because she's not entirely truthful, because she's like, oh, don't pick me up from the airport.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you just told me you're driving to Barcelona.
Exactly. And she did. She called herself Raquel, and then Bruno was like, hi, Laura, and he obviously could hear it. And so Laura goes into the house with the guy's wife. She makes some coffee. They sit down and start talking about life in general.
Sure.
Now, then she sees a photo. Does the photo get given to her to look at, or?
So they're just talking about life and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I think she starts talking about her son, doesn't she?
Yeah, she says, so we moved out here to escape city life, and she's not been very well, wife. And she asks Laura if she's got any children because she notices a wedding ring. Laura says, well, no, I don't really want them. And then the wife says, oh, we have a son. Look, here is a picture of him.
Here's his photo. And would you believe it? The son is the guy they've just killed in this car accident.
Of course.
Laura's face at that point was one of the best bits of acting I've ever seen because it just fell off.
I mean, it was great. It was really good,
It was really good.
Her
face just dropped.
The only reason I think I'm a little hesitant is because we've kind of seen this exact scene in Caliber last season.
Yeah. You're right. I did think that as well. You're exactly right. We did.
And they're very different movies.
Very different.
But they're driven by the same kind of event.
Yeah.
And it's the same, I've coincidentally met the family.
Yeah.
In a small local village. And I just had that at the back of my mind. And I'm not saying for better or worse, but...
You can't judge a film because you've seen it before in
exactly.
the film. It's just one of those things. While Laura's having this realization that she's in the house of the pet of the kid that she just murdered, the mum/wife gets a telephone call, and it's from Peter, his name, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Thomas. Daniel.
So Daniel's friends ring them and say, "Look, he's not showed up. He was supposed to be here by now. We've not seen him." So Laura's freaking out. The mum's now freaking out because her son's missing.
Yeah.
So she's like, "It's okay. I've got his mobile number. I'll call his mobile."
Well, first Thomas comes back and says, "Fix your car."
Yep, your car's sorted.
Ready to go. He finds out about his son, and he's like, "Look,
he'll be fine. He's an adult.
He's a boy. He's a boy adult.
Not 18, 19, 20 probably, around that age."
Yeah, it's like...
He was driving. So.
What makes you think he's told us where he's really going?
Yeah, he could be having an affair. Anything could be going on. So the mum's like, "I'll ring his phone."
Yeah.
There's an issue. Laura's got his phone in her pocket.
Yes. Nice. This was very tense.
This was very tense. I was like, oh, what is she going to do here?
Absolutely stupid decision for her to take the phone.
Yeah, I don't know. Why did she even take the phone?
Don't know.
Don't know, but she did. Obviously, the mum starts calling the phone. Laura's wandered off into a different room in the house. Yeah. And the phone starts ringing. So she quickly buries it under the sofa cushions. Yeah. Which is clever.
That's the best she could do in there.
The parents come in.
I mean, arguably, just flick it onto silent.
Yeah.
But, sorry, it sounds like I'm really nitpicking.
That's fine. The parents come in. Obviously, they find the phone, find out their son's not got the phone. Laura's like, oh, good luck with your son. I'm fucking off. Yeah. I'm getting out of here. I'm done. So she does. She leaves. She leaves them to it. She leaves them to find her son. At that point, she then meets up with Adrian, and we're back to where we were 10, 15 minutes ago. They sell his car at a scrapyard. Yeah. Because it's obviously been seen now at the scene of a crime.
Gives a big wad of cash to the junker.
And he gets junked. And then he reports it stolen. And then he just heads back to his life. He goes back to his normal life.
Loads of hot Spanish people smoking on rooftops.
Yes, basically what's happening. He's a businessman. He's trying to close a big deal with the Japanese. I think that's what's going on. There's no detail about what he's actually trying to do.
Some tech
company. Yeah. Also, Laura and Adrian have, at this point, gone their separate ways. Yeah. At that point, they were like, we're done. We can't see each other now. We need to stay away from each other. Mainly all because that guy saw them on the side of the road. Sure. If they'd have got away with it, if it wasn't for those stinking kids. So they go back their own separate lives until one day, Adrian sees a news report.
Yes.
Lower bottom of the stream news report about Daniel, who's this boy who's gone missing. And basically, there's a search party out there looking for him. That's what's happening. His dad's on the TV and trying to find his kid. I think a few days had passed. It's not long, I don't think, but a few days had passed. We cut back to Adrian and Virginia at this point because they're still... this whole film is remembered just them telling the story. Felix calls. Felix is the defense attorney.
He's
Adrian's
lawyer.
And he basically calls Virginia and says, look, I'm on my way. I might have a break in this case.
He's going to Bilbao.
I'm going... Yeah,
I've got a hot tip.
I've got a hot tip. I might be able to break the case. Keep him talking. You're in charge. Yeah. Whatever happens, you're in charge. So we cut back to... Adrian continues telling the story of what's happening.
So he's just thrown himself into his work, basically.
Yeah, he's all in on his work. Until one day, the police come into his work.
Yes.
And don't arrest him, but they ask him to accompany them to the station for some questions, to answer some questions. Basically, what's happened is the dad has remembered the registration number for the car that Laura was in.
Yeah.
And that's led them through a variety of ways to Adrian, because it was Adrian's car.
Correct.
So they just basically want to check his alibi, see where he was on the night in question, as police do.
He's like, I was in Paris.
Yeah.
Business meeting.
Yeah.
My car was stolen from the airport.
Yeah. A couple of hours before you spotted it. Basically, Felix has brought him an alibi.
But the cops are like, well, where's your ticket from the parking lot?
Yeah.
He's like, I lost it.
I lost the car parking ticket.
So at this point, Adrian confesses to Felix's lawyer. He says, I wasn't in Paris.
Yes.
I was with a woman. Doesn't confess to anything to do with this, obviously.
No.
Just that he was there.
So he says, basically, you need to buy me an alibi.
Yeah.
Prove that I was in Paris, which he does. And he also says, make that file disappear. I don't want to be connected with this case.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do that. Felix neglected to do that. Because Virginia has the police report.
Yes.
And he is still mentioned in the case.
His name is there, yeah.
The news report continues. A news report about Daniel. We see another news report where it's now being reported that they think he's faked his disappearance.
Yeah, because 50 grand has gone missing from the bank at which he worked.
Yes. Slowly over time as well, not all in one chunk. So he calls Laura and they meet up for the first time.
He's like, have you done this?
Yeah. And she has.
Yeah.
Remember, this is all Adrian's story of what happened.
Yeah.
This is not necessarily the truth. This is just what we're being told. So, yeah, she took the kid's wallet and his phone, and she's been transferring money from his account.
Well, this is my second big coincidence that took me out of the movie, because it just so happens that Bruno, Laura's husband, is an investment banker.
Yeah.
And he has one of those little card machines on a dongle.
Yeah.
Which means you can basically transfer money
from
anywhere. And because he's happens to be a banker and the victim happened to be a banker, she uses Daniel's card in Bruno's software to set him up.
Yeah.
That's another massive coincidence.
And another unnecessary one. Because that whole thing of her stealing the money didn't need to be there. Did it? It didn't lead anywhere.
No, it's just to put them off the. It is just put them off their scent.
You could have done it a different way or not done it at all. It wouldn't have made any difference to the film. But so these two massive coincidences are unnecessary.
Yeah.
But
I thought they just took it down a level.
That one didn't bother me as much, but I'm not sure if I understood what was going on as much as you maybe did there.
So she took her husband's computer and his authenticator, I guess, but used the victim's ID to transfer the money. Yeah.
I thought she was just using it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think about it that deeply.
That's fine.
And Adrian calls her out on it. He's like, that's ridiculous. I can't believe you've done that. You've put us into a situation. And she's like, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. So you need to help me cover this up or whatever. And then she just leaves. She leaves him there sitting in this cafe.
To be fair, Goodman does kind of say that's a bit of a coincidence.
Yeah.
You know, the bank stuff.
She does, yeah.
But she kind of lets it go.
Yeah.
Because Adrian's like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, it is.
I remember, it might not be true.
Yeah.
It might not be true. So it might just be the way Adrian's telling that story that's the huge coincidence.
Possibly.
As she leaves, Adrian spots a man over the road watching him. We're not sure who that is at this point.
No, it was the first...
Yeah, I know it was, but he wasn't sure who it was. So that's why I should probably...
I just thought that was in his head.
Oh, was it?
Well, yeah, because I took it to mean that's Adrian's mind starting to play tricks on him. Fair enough. I didn't take it as the guy was actually there following him.
Yeah, because he wasn't. That makes sense.
But that's what the movie is trying to do, because it's trying to go, oh, was it this guy?
Yeah.
Does he set you up?
Yeah, okay.
Whereas for me, it was pretty obvious he was in Adrian's version behind this all along.
Yeah. So. After this, this is where he becomes businessman of the year. We go to an awards gala.
Yeah.
And life's good. He's everything's gone back to normal. He's happy with his wife. He's winning awards. Everybody's happy.
He's pretty famous.
Yeah, he's getting famous. There's some fame happening. At the awards dinner afterwards, a man comes up and says, there's a news reporter who wants to have a word with you. Says he knows you.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I wonder who that's going to be. So he goes to see him, and it's Thomas. It's Daniel's dad.
Yeah.
Basically, they've put two and two together, Daniel's parents, because a lot of coincidences happened.
They've got an idea. I'm not sure if they've put two and two together
and got four, but they were almost there.
But they're on the right lines, aren't they?
Because basically they figured out that Thomas had his phone when he left the house because he'd used it.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be back at the house. Thomas noticed that Virginia moved the driver's seat when she got back in the car. Laura moved the driving seat when she got back in the car as if she hadn't been driving it previously.
Yeah.
So some things just didn't add up, and it's made Thomas do his own bit of investigating and led him to Adrian. And then Adrian offers him a smoke, and he uses a lighter that was also in the car on the night.
Yeah.
So
at this point, Thomas is like,
I know now what's going on. You were there that night.
Yeah.
What is going on? Tell me where my son is. He also has been following him, and he knows about the affair that he's been having.
He's got him back. He's just working it out on the spot.
Yeah.
But he's got it right.
He's complete. Well, yes, for as far as Thomas's side of the story is, he's got it right. Yeah. But eventually, security drag him away.
Not before Thomas has chucked this expensive-looking lighter into the fountain.
Because he says to me, "What did you do with?" It says to him, "What did you do with my son's car?" And he chucks the lighter in the water as if it's a metaphor of what he knows what he did to the car. It's obvious what he must have done with the car. It's just we need to know where. He wants to know where. But Adrian says, after he got left from security, I never heard from him again. Never saw him again. And this is the point where Adrian reveals to Virginia that he thinks the first guy that stopped is the guy who's blackmailing him.
He says the only other person that it could be is the first passerby.
Man. He's the only person who knows.
If it's not Thomas, it's not Daniel's father.
It's got to be this other guy.
It's got to be the other guy. Yeah. There's no one else who knows.
Yeah. And he gets sent an envelope. Or is it him or Laura? One of them gets sent an envelope. I think it's Laura.
No, it's him.
Was it him?
At work, yeah.
He gets sent an envelope, and inside the envelope is a picture of the swamp area that the body was dropped in, and a note that basically says, I know what you did with the body. Meet me at this hotel with $100,000.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it. But at this point, Virginia says your story makes absolutely no sense.
She says there's three big holes in your story.
Yes.
And I've written them down.
Go on.
Because she was good, this character.
She was awesome.
She says, if your story is true, why did they leave the money in the hotel with you?
Nobody took any money when Laura's body was covered
spread
on
over the body.
Yeah.
How did he get out of the room?
Yeah.
Fairly obvious one.
Yeah.
And then the third one's about this text message you received. Why did he send a text message to you to say, I will be in this room?
The text came whilst they were in the room together, but it was from Laura's phone.
Yeah.
So it confused everybody.
Yes.
That's when they knew. That's what made them realise it was a setup.
Correct.
And then
there's too many cracks in this story.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
You're going to get pulled apart by the prosecution.
Yeah. So let's tighten it up.
She says, I'll tell you what I think happened.
Yes.
And we get her
perspective.
Presumed.
What's happening here. And we start off with them heading towards this hotel in the ski lodge, ski resort. And he says the hotel, we're still, even though it's Virginia's tale of events, it's still told from Adrian's perspective, as if it was what actually happened, but isn't. It's just what Virginia thinks happened now. It's quite complex, this film, but it works really well. It sounds more
saying, this is the story we're going to take to court.
Yeah, it sounds a lot more. We're making it sound a lot more complicated than it is.
It does flow really well.
Fucking 46 minutes into this episode already. And he says the hotel was only accessible by train.
Yeah.
So they got on this train, checked into that. They were given a room to check into, 715. It should have been 237. Adrian waits outside while Laura checks in, and then he follows Laura in a little bit later on.
I thought to myself at this point as well, this guy's for a top businessman, you'd think he'd be quite strong and sort of
he's quite.
She really wears the trousers in these flashbacks, and she's just like, fucking wait outside, you're useless.
Basically, he's very meek, isn't he?
Yeah.
And we then see what followed again. We see Adrian get knocked out, then getting the text message, and Laura getting murdered.
So Goodman postulates the killer must have already been in there.
Yeah,
it was Thomas.
We see Virginia get murdered by Thomas. Yeah. The Daniel's dad.
Adrian's not so sure. Yeah. He's like, I'm still not sure about that first passerby.
Yeah. And when we cut back to Virginia and Adrian, and that's when Virginia says, that's just my theory. This is what we should go with. This is also when we find out that Virginia retired 2 weeks ago, and this is her final case.
She says, because she gets angry with him. She's like, look, I'm basically the test run for the jury.
Yeah.
If I don't believe it, they're not going to believe it. So we need to work out how this person got out of the room.
Yeah. She says the only way we can get anywhere with this is to implicate Thomas and to find out how he got out of that room. We need to figure out how he got out of that room.
Yeah.
Because it was locked from the inside when you were in there with the body. That is the key to the whole thing. How did he get out of the room? And then she gives him a plausible story.
Yes.
Because she continues with her theory.
So she gives...
This was brilliant.
She puts in front of him another newspaper clipping.
Yeah.
Which is... I'm not sure how they got this photo, the press, in the first place. But it's...
Probably from a guest.
Adrian coming out of the police station when he was questioned.
Yeah.
And it just so happens in the background, sort of further down the corridor.
Was it the police station? I thought it was the hotel. I thought it was as he was being arrested.
Oh, it might have been.
I think it was as he was being arrested.
Yeah, it must have been the hotel.
Because
further down the corridor was Thomas's wife.
Yes, the kid's mum.
Yeah.
So she was there whilst he was being arrested.
Yeah, that kind of gives Goodman an idea. And she's like, right.
Here's your story.
Yeah.
This is what we're going with. So basically, to cut it short a little bit, Thomas was in the wardrobe in the room before those two got in there.
Yep.
His wife was working as a receptionist, and she gave him a handle for the windows because it's winter. They remove the handles from the windows to stop people being able to open them. But he's now got a handle for the... This is why nobody could get out of the window, because the handles were shut. This is why the room was a locked room. And because she was working there, she had a handle for the window, so she gave him that. So he set the whole thing up, did the whole murder, and then left through the window. We see all this happen.
Yeah, and then kind of edged his way along the ledge, didn't he, back into the storeroom, which he'd left over the window, over that one open. Yes.
Where he then puts the window handle back in her drawer. The police show up because somebody heard a noise in the room. She, being the receptionist, lets the police into the room. And as the police find the body, she relocks the window with the handles. Really clever. Like, really clever. Virginia gets a phone call at this point. Cut back to Virginia and Adrian talking. She takes this phone call and then says to Adrian, right, the prosecution's witness is the first driver.
Yeah.
That changes everything. Because now their story makes no sense now.
So that's it. He's nothing to do with this story. If he's putting you there at that roadside, you're fucked.
That whole story we've just concocted doesn't matter anymore. Because it isn't about Laura's murder now. It's about Daniel's murder. Yeah. So now they need a whole new story, and they need a whole new story quickly. So Virginia comes up with one on the spot again. She's a hero. And she says, we have to now paint Laura as the mastermind behind all of this.
Yeah, and you're the patsy along for the ride. Yeah.
She's like, you were never there you were in Paris. You were never there when the car accident happened. But to make that story fit, we need to put something of Laura's in the car with Daniel's body.
Yeah, we have to link her to the body.
We have to link her to the body to make that work. So she gives him a map and she says, where's Daniel's body? Because we need to do this like now, sharpish. But then Adrian says, what about this witness? And this is the bit I had to watch like 4 times because I didn't really understand. I'm still not sure I 100% do. And then Virginia says, there isn't one, I made it up. Yeah. It's not true.
She's like, I'm putting you under duress, basically.
Yeah, she's like, I know you're still lying to me. And I just wanted to see why and if you trusted me as much as I'm trusting you, I guess.
Yeah, but then he says he's not worried because he's kind of like, he's so arrogant at this point. Yeah. He's like, actually, we were testing you, me and Felix, because we wanted to see if you're good enough that you could come up with a story to get me out of this. Yeah. Because then we'd know we could trust you for tomorrow.
He says, I needed you to get Thomas out of that room. Yeah. And you did. Yeah. It's basically, so now we can completely trust each other. Because he says, I needed to know I could put your life in my hands. Put my life in your hands. We then find out.
Why did he reveal this? He
trusts her now. He knows everything, and he's completely on board with her as his lawyer.
Done himself here, though.
He's completely does himself here. He undoes himself because he reveals to her at this point that just before he pushed the car into the lake, Daniel wasn't dead.
Yeah, there was a thudding in the boot.
He knew by that point that it was too late because Laura would have already set the wheels in motion.
He says, to be fair, he was virtually dead.
He was almost dead. He was pretty much dead.
He was still fighting.
He was bleeding out, but he was still fighting. He knew at this point that Laura had set the wheels in motion. There was no going back now. Yeah. So he slammed the boot shut and chucked him in the lake, where we see Daniel drown horribly.
She's not happy with it.
She's completely not happy with this. She calls him a murderer at this point. She says, I will not let my perfect record be tainted on my last day. And she says, now you must follow my story to the letter. Yeah. Because if you deviate even slightly, you're fucked. That's basically what
I took it different. I thought she was like, well, no, that's still our story. Yeah. But she's like, look, you're not cleverer than me. Stop lying to me. Stop tricking me. Because what if this happened? Yeah. And then she goes all Columbo on him.
She does, yeah. So she gives him a third story now at this point, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Because she's like...
So she basically flips.
She doesn't believe his story anymore, so because she knows now that he's a murderer.
Yeah, because he's lied to her all the way through.
So she said the pieces fit together.
She flips Adrian and Laura's role, basically.
So she says the pieces fit better together if we reverse these roles.
So he's the pushy bastard, and she's a bit more the meeker one in the partnership.
But she was the one who was being drowned in guilt afterwards, and she sees him on the TV becoming a celebrity, living his best life, and she arranged this whole meetup.
She wanted to confess to the parents.
She wanted to confess to the murder.
She wanted to give the cash to the parents.
Yeah,
and then turn themselves in.
Yeah, basically confess to the murder, give the cash to the parents, and turn themselves in. Then she set this whole wild story up. This is a little bit convoluted here.
So basically, she lured Adrian to the hotel.
Yeah,
with the intention of doing this. He obviously was like, "I am not fucking doing that."
Yeah. But
realised he was in a locked room by this point.
Yeah. Is that the point where we see him kill her?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this is still Goodman going. This is what I think.
This is what I think happened. This is the point where she reveals that the photo in the hotel, Daniel's mum, is a fake.
Yeah.
Because there's no reflection of her in the mirror. It's been photoshopped badly. And then Felix calls.
Yeah. So basically, just to tie that off before we do.
Yeah, God, because I completely lost that bit.
So Adrian killed Laura.
Yeah.
Knocked himself out.
Yeah.
Spread the money everywhere, then knocked himself out. It would have been difficult the other way around. And waited for the police to come in.
Yeah.
And said, well, there was someone else in it.
There was somebody else in here, even though the room was locked.
Yeah.
Then Felix calls, and Felix says, I've had a miracle.
Yeah. We are home safe.
Yep. Everybody's happy.
He's like, I have found the first driver.
Yes.
And he is never going to breathe a word of this again.
Yeah.
Because he's walking away with a huge sports bag full of euros.
Yeah. So the witness has disappeared. So now we don't know if we can trust Virginia or not.
Yeah.
Because why would Felix be chasing down this guy if he's not the witness? So it's all unraveling slightly. We don't know who, at this point, like you said earlier, with unreliable narrator. We don't know.
They're now all unreliable.
Everybody in this film's now unreliable. We don't know what's gone on at this point. Completely don't know what's going on. Adrian says to Felix, look, I've told her everything. I completely trust her 100%. We're good.
Yeah.
This is going to go well.
Yeah, Felix like, I told you she was good.
Yeah. Virginia's like, right, I'm going to go out and get some fresh air.
Yeah, we've
had
session.
Yeah, then I'll come back. We'll nail this story down, and you'll be good to go tomorrow. So she goes outside, and then a pen explodes in his pocket.
Yeah.
And that's the point where I was like, fuck me, I know what's going on here. I got this twist at this point.
She switches his phone off for some reason.
Yeah.
He turns it back on.
Yeah.
And as he's talking to Felix, the phone signal goes all squelchy and then the pen bursts in his pocket.
Yeah. So he's like, well, that's weird. And he undoes the pen, and it's not a pen.
It's a bug.
It's a microphone.
Yeah.
So he's like, what the fuck? So he looks through all of Virginia's files, and they're all just blank bits of paper.
Yeah.
There's nothing on it. We get a few flashbacks of things that she said earlier in the film, like when she called him a murderer. She says that she'd been gagging the prosecutors, that sort of thing.
There's flashbacks as well to because they're kind of flashbacks to Laura, aren't they? So these are for us really. When Laura was with the family and Thomas said, oh yeah, my wife's into like Amdram.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't mention the fact that Thomas lives over the road. This is quite a big deal. So before Virginia leaves, she says to Adrian, Thomas has been watching you for months.
Yeah.
He's even brought the apartment across the street. Look over there. And he's just standing in the window watching them. It's really ominous. Then that's the point where she leaves to get some fresh air. We then follow Virginia a little bit, and she makes her way over to that apartment.
Yeah.
And she meets up with Thomas. When he finds a microphone in the pen, we cut back to the apartment that Thomas is in. Thomas has recorded the whole thing. He has the confession now on tape. And Virginia and Thomas stand in the window together, looking over at Adrian, who's also standing in his window. And what does Virginia do?
Takes her face off.
She rips her face off and her wig. Because this whole time, she has been Thomas's wife.
Yeah.
The mother. That's your big twist at the end of this film.
And then the doorbell rings.
And then the doorbell rings.
At Adrian's.
And somebody who looks remarkably like the Virginia Goodman we've known all the way through this film says, my name is Virginia Goodman. I've come to help you with this case.
Yeah.
And then the film ends.
Yeah.
Fuck me. That was good.
I liked it.
What did you think?
I liked it.
Did you?
Yeah, I've got to be honest, it didn't absolutely blow my socks off.
Okay.
But I liked it.
I thought it was excellent. It's right on my street. I really enjoyed it.
I wasn't sure if you would, because I didn't know if it'd be a bit too sort of crimey for you.
Yeah.
This is not really your...
No, it's not.
But it was
It was a nice, really neat little story with loads of neat little twists all the way through it.
I would say it was like the cinematic equivalent of a sort of, I don't know, a Grisham page turner or something like that. A summer crime novel, isn't it?
Just made really well. Because I really like the fact that you kept getting told stuff and then kept instantly getting told that that's not what happened.
Well, that always works for me.
Yeah, it just works really nice.
I know it's a tried and tested gimmick, but the whole unreliable, not being trusting what you're being told, that always appeals to me.
But we got told that from the very beginning, that you can't trust anything that you're being told in this film.
Yeah.
And till the very end. No, we never knew what happened.
Yeah.
We still don't really know what happened. We know we've got the basics down now. And we know that he killed Laura and got rid of Daniel. There's still parts of the story that don't add up, which I really like.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I do think it is rated far too high on like.
Do you
Amazon.
really?
Yeah, it's never an 8.1. No way.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
very
high.
Maybe it's a mid-7.
But it was good. The acting, the performances were really good. I
thought the woman who played Virginia was incredible.
The original
Virginia.
I thought she was great, and I did really like the guy who played Adrian, because when he turned from sort of meek to absolute fucking asshole,
double murderer,
I thought he did that really well.
The guy who played Thomas's dad, Daniel's dad, Thomas, he was really good.
Again with the lady who played Laura doing the reverse, going from sort of the asshole to the victim.
I thought it was excellent.
It was good. I liked it. There's just something there that I'm not quite sure about.
It's not Mirage,
no,
but it's good.
Yeah,
you're not going to be disappointed by this. If you like a crime mystery thriller, you're on board with this. You're going to love it.
You love the twists and turns.
The only downside of it is it's got no fucking dub.
It did like I say, we've talked about it. It took a couple of liberties that I was like, that's a bit sloppy.
Yeah,
but it works. It works.
Those things that were sloppy didn't turn out to be true. They were parts of Adrian's story that he was making up.
Oh no, the whole I'm a BMW engineer was true.
True, it was.
That was pretty.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, you can maybe get away with the second one with the bank transfer because
yeah,
that money might have come out of his personal.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know the full story of what actually happened.
Yeah, on the whole, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Cool,
really enjoyed it.
Me too. I loved it. How would you turn the tide on it? There's only one thing I'd change.
Go on.
Give it a dub. Please, somebody dub it into English. I'd like to see it remade in English. I think it's a really good little crime story.
I did happen to notice, not that I'm usually one for the facts, this has got 3 remakes.
Oh, really?
And it's only 4 years old? Did we say?
Yeah, 5 now.
It's been remade in, I think it was Italian, German, and in Bollywood.
Oh, in Bollywood?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's cool.
You could see this.
I wonder if any of them have got a dub.
I may have said the same thing about Mirage. Quite easily going through the Hollywood machine.
We definitely said that about Mirage, and you definitely could see Mirage getting like that. Mirage is the only film that we've seen so far that I think I'd watch that again. I think I'd happily... It's been a while now since we watched Mirage. Probably 2 years. No, probably a year and a half. I think I could sit and watch Mirage again.
Oh, it's brilliant.
100%. It's a great film. Greatest film we've done on this podcast. And in a few years, I probably would watch this. I probably wouldn't be against watching this again. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. It was really good. I don't think it's anywhere near on Mirage's level.
No, it's not as good as Mirage.
I'm not sure
Mirage
it's as good as something like Lupin.
No, probably not.
But look, it's a really good. It's a little gem.
I was really right. It's a proper little hidden gem.
Yeah,
properly hidden gem. Stream table. Think about Mirage. Stream table.
Oh, that's tough.
What, the stream table?
Yeah, it's at the higher end.
I don't think it's tough for me. On any other stream table, I reckon 3rd, 4th, 5th.
Yeah.
This is better than anything we've seen this season.
Oh.
It's better than Deirdre and Lainey Robber Train.
Oh, I'm not sure it is.
Really?
Yeah, I think I might have it just below that.
Really? Honestly?
Yeah, I think so.
That's really interesting. I thought this would be head and shoulders above the top of that table.
There's something holding me back on this, and I know it doesn't really help, but I'm not quite sure what it is.
It doesn't help at all. I honestly, I was sitting at work thinking about this today, and I was like, we're not going to have an argument about the stream table tonight.
I don't know if it's just because I feel I've seen a lot of crime stuff.
Maybe I've not. Maybe I'm just like, oh, this is all new to me.
And this was really well done. Oh, one thing we haven't said is how nice it looks.
Yeah, it's
beautiful. It's shot really well. And that goes for obviously when they're out in the wilds, but also when they're just sitting around the table in this really posh apartment.
Yeah.
It is shot really well.
A lot of the scenes are direct rip-offs of The Shining. There's even like the over-the-top car traveling scenes and the ominous music across the lakes. But
then we've seen that. We as we said, Mirage is from the same director, and he homaged Back to the Future, and
it's clearly a film fanatic, isn't
exactly,
it? Or an 80s film fanatic at the least.
And
maybe that's what swayed me. The links to The Shining are maybe swaying me a little bit more. The hotel looked amazingly like the Overlook.
Yeah,
it was crazy how much it looked like it.
I thought this was a really good movie. I just think I'm maybe...
Are you just struck over Deirdre and Lainey, or do you want to go lower than that?
What's the...
Disappearance at Clifton Hill.
No, I think this is better than that.
It is better than that.
But in many ways, they're quite similar in the sort of make your own mind up on some of it.
Yeah, they're both mysteries, aren't they? Both thrillers.
I think the only thing that's holding me back is that I've seen a lot of crime stuff, be that procedural or movies like this, and
I just thought every little twist worked really well.
It's good, but it's
really
not
neat.
It didn't make me go, oh, fuck, amazing.
We're getting really close to the end of the season, right? There's 3 films left. Are you going to be happy with Deirdre and Lainey Rob a train at the top of the table?
I'm not saying that, but I'm not
sure.
No,
you're not. But
I'm
this
not
is
sure
the
if
sort
I'm
of thing we need to
happy
start thinking about.
With this either. I still think this is a weak table.
This is a weak table.
It's a weak number one.
This isn't. But Deirdre and Lainey Rob a train's a really weak number one as well. And it just is. It's not even close to any of the others.
I don't disagree with you at all. So maybe I'm splitting hairs, and
I think we are splitting hairs. And
does it really matter?
No,
but I don't want to say does it really matter because it's
going to win the top. It might win the whole thing. It's really tough. We don't argue over the top very often. If a film gets to the top, we're usually like, yeah, that's the best film we've seen.
Yeah, totally. And I'm not against this movie, and I'm not against Deirdre and Lainey Rob a train. I don't really feel that strongly about either of them, and that's what I'm struggling with.
Well, I do feel quite strongly about this one.
Fine.
So, can we put it at the top of the table?
Okay,
please?
fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, fine.
I just think it deserves to be there. As if I was going to rewatch one of them, it would 100% be this one.
Okay.
So, happy?
No, I am. And maybe I'm a bit swayed as well by the fact that you told me this is like 8.1 on IMDb.
That's
and I'm
high.
thinking, no.
There's only the Dawn Wall we've seen that's even anywhere near that high.
No way.
No, I know what you mean.
It's not that good.
No, I know what you mean.
And I get a bit of that is it's not very well watched. So it's gonna...
I don't know how many... Let's see how many
people who have seen it are probably more likely to rate it higher.
But especially because it's a Spanish film as well, so they're going to be film fans who are watching it. So
but
probably right.
Having said all that, if there's one thing we have learnt so far in our nearly 5 seasons of this, which is now nearly 125 films, if a Spanish film turns up,
it's
you're
usually
in for
fucking
a good
brilliant.
time.
Yeah. Mirage was 2 in season 2.
The Blacksmith and the Devil.
The Blacksmith and the Devil was right up there.
Yeah. Again, one of the best films we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And this is a proper hidden gem.
I'm finding a passion for Spanish cinema.
Oh,
I don't know how that's happening, but it's made me want to look up this director and see what else he's done.
Yeah, what he's got next.
Yeah, or what he's done before. Because both of those films are excellent. They're both excellent films. Yeah. Number 1.
Okay.
You know this short episode we said we were going to have?
Yes.
I think it's going to be the longest one of the season.
Oh, really?
Do you want to pick next week's film?
Yeah, let's do it.
Episode 23. What do you want?
Let's go for... Should we do comedy? I feel like we've not had a comedy for a few weeks.
Okay.
Because we had Triple Threat, didn't we?
We did.
SPF 18, which I still have no idea how to categorise. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, something light.
I'm going to press the button. Are you ready?
Do it.
It has picked a film called Villains.
Okay.
Any idea what Villains is?
None whatsoever. Is it like a superhero team-up movie?
Is that what you reckon?
No.
What do you think it is
then? Is it more crime?
It's a comedy drama horror thriller.
Oh, good. I love a comedy drama horror thriller.
It's from 2019. Do you want to know the synopsis?
Yes, please.
It says, after a pair of amateur criminals break into a suburban home, they stumble upon a dark secret that 2 sadistic homeowners will do anything to keep from getting out.
Okay, sounds like a bit of a black comedy.
Black comedy, it does. Micah Monroe, isn't it?
All right.
She's been on the stream before.
Yeah, she does ring a bell. Was she in Tao?
Tao, she was indeed.
She was being bothered by the AI in that posh house.
She was indeed. It's also got the brother of a Captain's Gallery member in it. Bill Skarsgård.
Oh,
Pennywise himself.
You're going to say Stephen Amell for a minute there.
Stephen Amell was born on exactly the same day as me.
Oh, really?
As a fact for you. Yeah, Bill Skarsgård's in it. Pennywise himself. Looks good.
I'm up for that.
Looks quite humorous. It's only on for an hour and a half, so we're all good. So, yeah, go and check out Villains. And in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BATS_podcast. If you want to email us, the email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com. And the website is bottomofthestream.com. On the website, you'll find every episode we've ever recorded, all 5 season stream tables. And you can even buy some merch if you want to get hold of a Bottom of the Stream
poncho.
And then join us on Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. If you join that, you'll get early access to episodes. You'll get some bonus episodes. Nick writes a newsletter every month. And if you come in at the top level, you'll get a wild card. So you can pick the film that we watch one week.
I really like the word poncho. Sorry, I just realised.
It's a nice word.
Carry on.
I'm not even sure if they sell them on there, but they might do. Where did I get to? Discord. Come and join us in the Discord, especially if you want to come and play disc golf with us. That'd be random, but it'd be fun.
Also, it's not just called Discord because it's about disc golf. That's just a happy coincidence.
I hadn't noticed, and it is a happy coincidence. The Discord golf. Disc golf. Yeah, we've had some new people join this week, and it is a lot of fun in there. We talk about films, we talk about TV shows, we talk about all sorts of random shit that's going on, and it's a lot of fun. And we're going to do our Left Behind watch along in there also, so come and join us for that. The Discord link will be at the bottom of the show notes.
Be there or get left behind.
Hey, ba-boom-ch.
If you've got a few minutes, can you also please consider leaving us a review anywhere that you can review podcasts? That could be Podbean, Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Cephalopod, anywhere else that you can do that shit. Maybe you could write as an alibi in your next trial defence.
Okay.
And we'll just be that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
I don't know. I've run out of steam. Sorry.
It's been a long night. It's long and hot, and this is the longest episode we've recorded in ages. So yeah, new number 1 on the stream table. Go and check out, what was that film called again? Villains. Go and check out Villains, and we'll come back next week to talk to you about it.
Cheers.
Oh, and there'll be a wave on Monday. Bye.